Hi guys, this is F3 Athletics. We're going to be talking today about the overhead squat. My name is Brian and this is Ali. First step that we're going to be doing is figuring out our hand placement on the bar for our overhead squat. We're going to do this by first picking up the bar and then having the bar with a narrow grip. You can see how the bar is below the hip crease, so we need to figure out where the hip crease is. Ali is going to demonstrate raising up one leg, and then she's going to extend her arms out to a place where the bar is no longer moving. So now the bar is no longer moving. We've got the shoulders engaged in the back, so this is a good starting position for the overhead squat. The second cue that we want to understand, because today's demonstration purposes are going to have the overhead squat from the rack, is where the hand grip is in placement on these markers here in relation to the knurling. So in this particular case, right, Ali's on the outer edge of that knurling. That's what she's going to have to figure out where she's at on the rack. All right, so if you want to go ahead and rack it. Okay, so now we have the hand placement figured out. We've got the barbell on the rack. We're going to move into the overhead squat. So we're going to approach the squat. We're going to get the barbell on the back just like we do a back squat, but we're going to position our feet underneath our hips into a power position here. So we're not going to start off squatting with a lunge position here. Do you want to demonstrate this is kind of a sloppy way to get the bar off the rack? That's okay to do when the bar is, because it's just the empty barbell, but it's not a power position when we're talking about a 1 rep max lift. So we're going to approach the bar. We're going to have good habits from the beginning, right? So we're going to feet are going to be underneath our hips, get underneath the bar, stand up, 1 step out, 2. Now our foot placement is in position here, right? Need to get the bar overhead. We're going to do this by 2 different fashions. We're going to push press it overhead, or we're going to push jerk it overhead depending on the weight load. Ali's going to demonstrate first the push press. Dip down, drive up, bars overhead. Reset, push, jerk. Good. That second dip, that allows you about 30% more weight possibilities to lift. So once we get the bar overhead, the biggest fault that we see is the shoulder, elbow, wrist positioning. So what we're looking for is the shoulders to be externally rotated and not internally rotated. So Ali's got her shoulders externally rotated now. Ali, do you want to demonstrate what an internal shoulder rotation looks like? Internal shoulder rotation is less stable and it's weaker in the shoulder joint. So externally rotate your shoulder again. Elbows are locked out. If we demonstrate the elbows not being locked out, the bar starts to drop down, so disengage the elbows, right? So now you're just holding the bar using your arm strength. We want those elbows locked out, straight overhead. And then the wrist position here, it's a little, that would be a soft or a weak wrist position here with the knuckles facing straight back or soft. We want those knuckles pointing up to the sky, right? So her shoulders are externally rotated, her elbows are locked out, her wrists are locked out. That's the biggest, most common fault that we see is from the shoulder, elbow, wrist position. Next thing we're going to be doing is talking about what we're going to be doing for our squat position. So our feet are hopefully in our standard squat position, which is roughly shoulder width apart. Shoulder width apart, externally rotate the shoulders. We're good up top. We're going to sit back, reach back, go down into the squat, break the 90, and then stand straight up with it. The whole time maintaining a nice tight core. We've got a chest, upright torso, and our gaze is slightly upright. And do 2 more squats. 1 and 2. Now going back to the faults, we want to get the shoulders to be engaged from the top down from the beginning, right? We want to set ourselves up for success. But as fatigue sets in, the tendency then is to lose the shoulder position or lose the elbow position. So next, Ali's going to demonstrate 1 good squat, followed by losing the internal shoulder rotation, followed by losing the elbow position. That's really just losing the muscle endurance in the upper body here. So do 1 good squat. And then the internal rotation, right, getting a little weaker still, losing the elbows. And then do 1 perfect squat. So ideally, every rep is a perfect rep, right? So we've gauged the weight accordingly, we've built up smartly, and we've got our torso and our upright, our shoulder, elbow, wrist position in a correct upright lock position. Great, and that concludes our presentation, video presentation of the overhead squat. Thanks, Ali.